Hi there, this is your friend Anna, and the question that I've been getting the most from all of my friends is, what are we wearing? This age-old question isn't just about choosing an outfit, it's about choosing how we present ourselves to the world. I created the I Want Her Shoes podcast to dive deep into what it means to dress with intention, whether you're heading to a council meeting or just having a casual day out with your family. Join the conversation as we explore the power of personal style and the decisions that shape our public personas. Put on your favorite pair of shoes and step into my closet. Welcome back to I Want Her Shoes podcast, where we explore the powerful intersection of style, success, and substance. I'm your host, Anna, and today we're stepping into the world of high finance with a woman who redefines what it means to lead with both precision and heart. Joining us today is Rhonda Singer, Managing Director at JP Morgan Private Bank. With nearly 30 years of experience navigating capital markets and wealth management, Rhonda has become a trusted advisor to some of the most influential families in the country. But what sets her apart is her commitment to guiding women, especially those who want to experience financial independence for the first time, through life's biggest transitions with grace, education, and empowerment, which is really beautiful. And from the trading floor to personal boardrooms, and from mentorship to moments of style, Rhonda is proof that you can lead with strategy and still show up in your favorite fabulous pink pair of heels.
Absolutely.
So Rhonda, welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you here.
So happy to be here. I love what you're doing. Your closet is absolutely phenomenal. I'm in awe of everything in here.
Thank you. Let's talk at first a little bit about your brand, because it's really similar to one of my favorite plays and movies, Legally Blonde, which I know you saw the poster, and I went to that in my in my mid-20s. That's when it was on Broadway, and it was like one of the best shows still I remember, and the little dog was so great to see that show. But your brand is very similar to that, and I could see the resemblance.
Thank you. So I just recently trademarked Financially Blonde, and what's really fun about that is when that movie first came out, a lot of people came up to me and they said, "Rhonda, they made a movie about you." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "You would need to see this movie, Legally Blonde." And when I saw it, I could understand why, and that is because it was a real kind of seminal moment for me to realize this is what I'd been working my whole life for, to really have the ability to have my own style, be pink, and express myself in the way that I want to, but at the same time have a lot of content and be very smart. And one of my favorite lines from that movie is, "Like it's hard." And I just really resonated with that, because a lot of things I've done in my life have actually come pretty naturally to me, and people are usually in shock when they realize the person that's behind it all, because I'm not what you would expect, let's say. And I think that's really the fun part about the movie, is to allow that individuality to shine through.
Yes, and I think that you are a great example of actually letting that shine through and showing other women how to do that too. So I'm really excited to jump in and get started with you.
And one of the fun things too is that we've come such a long way. I remember in the beginning moments of my career, and this is, dating 30 years ago, when I first started working at Goldman Sachs, you really couldn't wear pink on the trading floor, and there were rules, you needed to wear.
So what did they say, just blue and black or something?
Blue, black, gray, dark gray, really very neutral colors. You weren't really allowed to wear pants. You had to wear skirt suits, and they had to be past the knee. So there was a definite dress code. Yes, it was very boring. And the way that I used to express myself is through accessories. So I had a ton of scarves, handbags, and that was where I let a lot of my kind of color sort of sneak in. That was allowed. But on the basic elements of what you needed to wear, that had to be, those kind of darker or neutral shades.
Cool.
So, yeah. I wore a lot more black.
Yeah.
And then I kind of did spruce it up
Pink
with accessories.
purse,
right.
pink, but
exactly.
a black
Accessories.
base. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you moved on. I feel like in Miami, you've moved on to a white base versus a black base, right?
Exactly.
So, you mentioned you had a lot of white pants, right?
I have probably like 15 pairs of white pants or jeans.
And which ones are your favorite?
Anything high-waisted where you can wear a belt. That's usually what I like to wear.
Yeah, I feel like like you feel more like...
I feel like
hugged.
Yeah. Just like, there is a comfort to that, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Rhonda, you've had such an extraordinary career journey from Goldman Sachs to Bernstein to JP Morgan. What first drew you into finance, and how has your approach evolved over the years? And maybe we could even go before that. Where did you grow up, and kind of what inspired you to be so colorful and everything? Maybe that if you tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so
reveal something.
Maybe. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, actually west of the city, a little town called Newton, Mass. And I just had a very kind of middle class upbringing. Went to Newton South High School, was the valedictorian of the class, so spent a lot of time. I was the president of the student government, and so I was always sort of like a young achiever, you could say.
Nice.
And I kind of always knew I was gonna kind of leave my town and do something. I didn't know what that something would be. And when I was in college, I was planning to be a lawyer. So young,
just like Legally Blonde.
Just like Legally Blonde. So my kind of young adult life was with LA Law, and you saw a lot of TV about these kind of powerful women who were lawyers, and I thought I would do that. So when I was graduating from college, I had gotten into law school. But a bunch of my friends gave me a dare because I had a very high GPA and I was at Penn, which has Wharton. And they said, well, why don't you apply for some of these investment banking internships? And I said, but I don't know anything about investment banking. And back then they would just kind of hire good clay that they could mold. And so I went into these interviews and they would say like, when did you decide that you wanted to be an investment banker? And I said, well, about, 5 hours ago. And they say, well, let us convince you of why you should do it. And in the end, I was convinced. I got an offer from Goldman. I felt it was something that I couldn't pass up. I ended up deferring law school and then ended up staying in finance because I just absolutely loved it. It was a great challenge for me mentally. It was really fun to work on a trading floor. I love the kind of team environment that we had at Goldman. I love surrounding myself with people that are very smart because that's where you can be your best self, is to really learn from, talented people. And I was just a sponge, really just like soaking it all up. And as I've kind of moved on in my career, I'm hoping now I can be that sponge for other people and, be somebody who can mentor young people. I'm a wealth manager now, so I have a lot of young clients and, helping them create a budget and sustainable strategies that are going to build their plans for their lives is really what I'm passionate about now.
That's cool. No, that's a really awesome story. I'm kind of digging more into that. What was it, very male dominated when you were there?
Oh my gosh.
How many women were actually like around? I mean, how did you navigate that back then? Because I feel like people talk about being imposter syndrome now, but I feel like even back then it was probably even worse, right? And less women.
Yeah, there were very few women when I first started my career. And in fact, when I was one of, I think, maybe the very first managing director that was ever promoted.
Cheers to that.
Thank you.
Awesome.
At Alliance Bernstein on the trading floor when I became managing director there. I was on a really fast track early on at Goldman, which was very gratifying. I think they had recognized that they had found a woman who could sort of
talent.
They could keep up with the men, and but yeah, I would say it was probably like the more senior people, maybe something like 70% men, 30% women. The younger you got, the more women they had. It's just that a lot of people opted out of the workforce as they were raising families and choosing to do other things as they matured. So times were very different then. All the policies were really different. Having children was it like a big deal back then, and taking time off from work to, even beyond maternity leave was a big deal. So everything is really changing and changing for the better. I'm so happy to see now that, my daughter and her kids eventually are going to have it, easier and easier to climb the ladder in corporate America and also in finance. But definitely wasn't always that way. And the other really nice thing is I think women now are just becoming more gentle with one another, really trying to raise up other women. And I think when I had first started my career, it was actually worse to work for a female boss because in a way there was like a lot of competition and they felt like only one could survive. And there's definitely not, that thought has completely, I think.
Yeah, I feel like
exited.
we had that when I was entering the tech space 20 years ago. There was definitely that. I got a lot of that. Like, most of the people that helped me were not women in the beginning, which is very sad, but the truth,
Yeah, that's kind of how it was for me. And so it's nice that the tables have turned and that you see that women are really helping and mentoring other women, and that times are really changing.
Yep, exactly. Well,
I'm very happy about that.
And I know that you've made some really meaningful transitions for some of your clients, and which you've helped them go through. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to women going through some of those similar moments, like divorce, or if you're changing careers, or like if you are just going through a big change, right? Or maybe if you have to take care of your elder parents, like losing jobs, stuff like that.
There's a lot of moments in life that cause you to really, take a step back and pause and reevaluate. And I think changes can be seen as a really great time for a reflection and also for kind of re-underwriting some of your choices and thinking about how you want to make positive change for your future going forward. So what I like to do with my clients is think about all the things that they have, take a very holistic view of their portfolio, of their life, of their spending and of their income, and really help them, especially during periods of change, decide what good things we can keep and what things we might need to, make tweaks on going forward that are going to help build a better future for them.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. Yeah, no, thank you for doing that, because I feel like that's such an important relationship.
Yeah, and I think times of change, they can be really hard emotionally too. And so as an advisor, you're kind of there for your clients, to lean on. And I mean, one of the good things in my case is I've been through a divorce. I've been through a remarriage. I have 2 kids. I've left careers. I've started new ones. So it's something that I can relate a lot with my clients when they're going through change.
Yeah, no, that's great. And yeah, I think it's, again, going back to relationships, right? Mm-hmm. And really helping them make those, I feel like one decision can really change your life,
It
right?
really can.
So, but
it really can.
And I'm going to ask you about the Birkin situation, because I feel like that's like a big conversation. So do you think that's a good investment, or like, we're just talking about the Birkin. We're not talking about Chanel. We're not talking about Valentino or Bottega Veneta. We're just talking about slightly the Birkin, which, if you look at the index, it has a 14% growth.
Yeah.
So like, and if you could somehow get one.
Yeah,
like,
I would say
that'd be a good investment.
I mean, if you're in a position where you can get a Birkin, even if you were just going to turn it around and resell it, you're probably going to make money on it. So is it a good investment? Yes. Is it a good investment if then you're going to wear it for 15 years? Maybe, because it will still probably grow in time. But I think my thought with kind of clothing and with accessories is you have to buy what you love that's in your kind of price point that you can afford. And if you're going to use it and wear it, that makes sense. But other than the Birkin, I wouldn't be necessarily buying pieces for investment purposes. I'd rather see people buy jewelry, if that's the case.
Yeah, and jewelry, would you treat jewelry as kind of similar to investing in gold? Or would it be kind of different? Depending on the jewelry.
It's pretty similar. The only issue is you're usually paying such a premium to gold to buy it. So, so depending on the brand. But yes, if you were getting it for the valuation of gold, absolutely. It's like owning gold, because it is owning gold. But, again, like what I used to do and still do is...
I love that piece.
Thank you.
Just the Bulgari one.
Yeah. I like to kind of have a highlight of the year. So something that I buy myself that is a congratulations to me for working really hard or for, achieving something that was really difficult. And I usually mark that with a piece of jewelry. So over time, I've, built up a really nice collection. And it's been a fun thing for me because that's something that's fairly timeless. You can go and you can think to yourself, oh, I remember in 1999 when I did that or this. And, it's just kind of a nice way to look back down memory lane. So I love jewelry, and I wear it all. And I like to wear weird things together. So
I feel like you always have such a beautiful mix of jewelry.
Thank you.
It's very creative. And
I like it.
Cool pieces too.
Thank you.
And do you think fashion and finance confidence are connected? And how has your style evolved as you've risen in your career, and also through the times as well? I know we talked a little bit about that in the beginning.
Yeah. I would say I've gotten a lot bolder throughout my career, and as I've advanced and taken on more responsibility, I've gotten a little more imaginative with my outfits. It's a really fun, creative outlet for me because my job is fairly dry. I'm in finance, and I'm an Aquarius, so I have a very kind of creative side to me, and I find that fashion is the way that I express myself. I absolutely love color, so I feel incredibly at home in your closet. It is just awe-inspiring. It's wonderful in here. I love it. And I usually gravitate to color. When I was living in New York for 27 years, I wore a lot of black, as many people do in New York, and I would augment that with accessories. And here, as you commented, my base is now white, and augment that with accessories. So kind of the same thing, but I guess it's based on climate. So that has evolved. I've gotten a lot more casual at work. I get away from wearing the full-on suit, which I had to do in the beginning of my career, and even up until kind of my mid-career. And now it's more business casual. So you're on a lot of Zoom. So really kind of what you're wearing on the top matters a lot more than on the bottom. I tend to wear white jeans and cowboy boots usually to the office, and
cowboy boots,
which very much
Love
a fan
it.
of. And or sneakers, cool sneakers has been a fun new thing for me since I arrived in Miami. I didn't have any in New York, and now I'm kind of building out a fun little sneaker collection, which I love. I'm constantly trying to push the envelope with my fashion. I feel confident when I'm in a great outfit. And it just, it just gives you a little pep in your step for the day, and just kind of an inner vibe, kind of a shine. And I enjoy it. I enjoy dressing. It's a fun little activity.
Well,
that
cheers
I do.
to dressing.
Cheers
I think
to
it's
dressing.
so much fun
It
to
is
do.
so much fun.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the balance that you create. So I know that, especially being a mom and being at work and in such a high-powered job, how did you balance all those things, and how do you do that now? Because I know now you're a wife, you still have a job, you have kids, there's a lot of logistics. How do we do this?
That is a great question. I have to say that I was not the best early on in my career with balancing things, just generally speaking. I was very, very career focused, probably to my own detriment. So I do feel like I missed out on a lot of fun things when my kids were very, very young. But that has changed over time. I think when I was, managing a sales and trading floor, I was traveling to London 17 times a year. So there was a huge amount of travel in my job. That's changed a lot now. I was really lucky because during COVID, nobody was traveling, and I got to spend so much time with my adult kids, and that was just a really special bonding time for me. So I'm really grateful for that. But I think that's a real issue for women. I think it's easier now to balance. I think companies are more flexible. There's a lot of work from home, which is also flexible. So I think we're really moving in the right direction. And I'm really happy to see that, because I don't think moms really need to miss out on as many things as necessarily as I did. And now I have great balance in my life, but my kids are out of the house, so I just need them to, come back.
Well, they'll come back with grandchildren, not anytime soon, but
eventually. That will be another great phase to look forward to for sure. And, the best thing about grandkids is you can spoil them and hype them up on sugar, and then hand them back to the parents.
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
And what are your thoughts about the future of women in finance, and how can we encourage more women to enter the space that's so heavily male dominated?
I'm really bullish on the future of women in finance. I see more women entering. I think companies are making it easier to stay. I think we have really generous maternity leave policies, very generous policies. If you need to work from home for a day, it's much more doable than it used to be. Zoom has really changed life for people. So I'm pretty bullish about it. I encourage people to do it if you have kind of a mathematical brain, or if you like to work on a kind of a sales and trading floor. There's really no better career. It's actually a really fun career where you can really use your brain and actually be in an amazing team environment. So I'm very bullish about it. I encourage it. It's fun. I mean, it's fun. It's for the right person. I think it can be really fun. I think, you have to be able to handle stress, and you have to be able to juggle a lot of things. But for the right person, I think it can be an amazing career.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear, and that's a great answer. And a question that came out of that is, do you think this profession is going to get replaced by AI in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's a great question.
Because I feel like there is definitely some aspects of finance that are already being automated.
You are, and there should be. There's a lot of things that don't need to be as person intensive as they are now. So you are going to see some things get automated out, and also we're really using, especially at JP Morgan, AI as a tool that helps us. So we're actually saving a lot of our own time, which is allowing us to be more in front of our clients, have better advice, cover more people, just kind of stay in front of trends and marketplace things. So I think AI is not just a tool to replace people, but a tool to also make us all better. So 100%. I think the front-facing jobs are still going to exist, because you don't really want to hand your money over to a robot. You want a person to do that. And relationships are still going to be an important part in finance and in other fields as well. But I think we can all be stronger as a result of AI, and all of us be better and maybe more efficient at our jobs.
Yep. No, that's a great answer, and I agree with you 110%. Is that great? Well, now we have the fun part.
Okay.
Let's talk about the shoes that you brought.
Okay. Well...
So let's bring them a little closer. And for those of you who are not watching on YouTube, we have Valentino. What are these called? The ones, do you know what the name of them are? The ones with the studs. Okay, studs. Both of us do not. I need to get better at this, because I don't know the names. I mean, I have so many shoes, but I don't know what they're...
Same.
Sorry, ladies. So there are Valentino, and they have the studs, and they're closed toe, and they are beautifully rainbow. It's not a rainbow, but it's like a 70s vibe.
Yeah, it's a lot of color.
And it's my size too.
I'm willing to share. As you mentioned, I think I've barely actually
Oh my God, I would
these.
Love to wear these for something amazing.
Yeah,
and then
me too.
Rhonda also brought a purse that matches, and it's a little purse, and it's really cute. But you know what? I noticed that it doesn't match the stud color, because these are...
Oh yeah, you're right.
Or do
no, I think it does.
It does. I guess it's kind of like the way the light hits it, right?
Also, I'm not the best at my packing.
It's silver. Yeah, it's silver.
My packing of the merchandise is not the best.
Yeah, this is a little bit this is a little bit golden.
I think it's like champagne.
Champagne,
These are supposed to be champagne.
Yeah.
So
these tell us the story behind these beauties.
These are from, so I think I mentioned that I used to travel to London a lot with my old job when I was doing running the European sales and trading desk. And so part of my little treat of going to London was I did a lot of side trips, which was really fun. And I would do I tack on a weekend, maybe like every other trip, either like in France or in Italy. And then when my kids were at camp in the summer, I would live in London for the month. So I remember these are a summer collection. I think they were purchased, if I recall correctly, in Milan. We did a really fun event where we took clients who were retail investors to visit all the Milan-based retail companies, because again, I was doing European equities. So after that trip, we had a little free time.
Yay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I did go to like every Valentino store to try to find them, because they were one of those limited edition collections. And They are just, they just spoke to me because they have so much color. They remind me of a really fun time in my life where I was, kind of at the highlight in my early 40s, kind of living my best life. And I just love the color in them. I think they're just so fun, and they're just a pretty addition to a closet. Like you, I'm very visual, so I love to walk into a room that has a lot of color in it. It just makes me smile. So I can't say that I've worn them on a million occasions. As you can see, they're not very well worn, but I can say that I've enjoyed their beauty, and now they have a chance to be showcased. So
there
was a reason for
cheers
it.
To these beauties. And your fabulous trip to Milan.
Thank you.
Came out, and it sounds like that was a fabulous just summer altogether.
It really was, yeah. I'm definitely a Europhile. I love spending time in Europe.
Who doesn't? All right, well, to end everything, I'm going to do a quick little this or that fire round with you. And I think some of them I already know the answers to, but we can do it anyways.
All right,
so let's do it. Power suit or statement dress?
Statement dress.
Yes. Classic pearls or bold accessories?
Oh, bold accessories.
Yes. Do you even own a pair of pearls?
I do have a pair somewhere. And actually, I was thinking my daughter is actually going to be starting her career. She's graduating from college this weekend coming up. And I was like, maybe I should give them to her. And then I was thinking, what on earth would she do with them?
You can repurpose them.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow,
they have to be kind of with a lot of other necklaces.
There you go. Just twist them
in a big
the
scheme.
twist.
Right,
there
exactly.
You go. Early morning strategy meeting or evening client dinner?
Evening client dinner.
Designer handbag or timeless watch?
I'll do timeless watch.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't talk about watches.
Oh yeah,
I've seen some really fabulous watches on your wrist.
I'm a big watch girl. I love a chunky watch for women. This one is fun. I do wear it a lot. Yeah, I think a watch can be a really fun. Good investment.
Yes.
Actually, this one was a great investment because I got it pre-COVID, so that was. Very
I wish I bought more of them. Oh my god,
I know. That and apartments in Miami.
Because I actually I like watches too, and I would have invested more, but now it's too expensive already. Bold red lip or natural glow? Bold pink lip.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm not a big red lip girl. I do like a pink. I like both. That one I'm gonna have to go with depends on the outfit.
I like that. You can do both.
Okay.
Private equity or public markets?
I think both have a place in a portfolio.
Good answer. Leather-bound planner or digital calendar?
I'm going to go digital calendar. Yeah. I used to be leather-bound planner, but...
that's hard with everything.
That's too hard. I got to go with the tech.
Yeah. Ballet flats or stilettos?
Oh, gosh. Truthfully, I don't wear either. Ballet flats are
more cowboy boots and sneakers, right?
And also, I love a platform.
Yeah, I think that's fabulous.
I love a platform.
And
comfy.
Art Basel or Aspen Ski Retreat?
Ooh. I mean, both.
Yeah. Silent retreat or luxury spa weekend?
I'll go with luxury spa weekend.
Yeah, I cannot stay silent.
I'm not silent. I'm not the silent type. That'd be actually so hard for me. That'd be like punishment.
Well, Rhonda, thank you for sharing your powerful perspective on wealth, leadership, and personal style. Your dedication to empowering women through financial education and thoughtful guidance is nothing short of inspiring.
Thank you.
It's been a true pleasure stepping into your world where financial acumen meets elegance and purpose, and I'm going to try your shoes after we wrap
definitely,
up.
For sure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. Remember, style isn't just about what you wear, it's how you lead, it's how you support others, and how you show up with the most pivotal moments in your life. Don't forget to subscribe to the I Want Her Shoes podcast on your favorite platform, and stay tuned for more stories that inspire substance and style. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, that was so fun.
That was so fun. Thank you so
much.
It's going to be so fabulous.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, now, I'm not going to stop it yet because I'm going to ask you to pick a pair of shoes from here that represents you the best that you would wear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I may have to look at palm trees. But let me look around. Let me look around.
Well, I mean, they don't have to be pink, but I know you love pink, so.
I do love pink, and I was immediately, I would say just because they're about Miami and they're pink. So I would say, yeah. They probably represent me the best.
There you go. You could try these on.
All right, let's check it out.
And I'll try yours on.
All right,
so
go for it.
Amazing.
Ooh, they match my toes.